All right, guys, we are almost to our last week, and hopefully, we have been starting to make some healthy changes. Remember that we're not striving for perfection, we just want progress here. So, make sure you're sharing your gains and maybe your step back so we can help support each other. So, today I am so excited because I could talk this stuff forever, especially to mamas. Gut health. Our gut is home to about 100 trillion microorganisms. We have about 10 times more bacteria in us than all the other human cells. So we're more bacterial than we are humans. In fact, the combined weight of all this bacteria has been documented up to 7 pounds. Majority of this bacteria lives in our gut. And interestingly enough, 75% of your immune system also lives in your gut. So happy gut bugs, healthy body. Gut flora, which is just a fancy name for gut bacteria, promotes normal GI function. It gives protection from infection, and it regulates your metabolism. So it only makes sense that an unhealthy community of gut flora has been linked to diseases ranging from autism, depression, IBS, type 1 diabetes, you name it. So why are we seeing so many unhappy guts these days? Well, quite a few reasons. So number one, the invention of penicillin back in 1928 has left us a germaphobe nation. I mean, I admit flu season, whatever year it was when it was really bad, or it's bad every year, who gets out the Lysol and the Clorox wipes all over the place? I mean, we are just programmed to kill this bacteria. But did you know that E. coli actually exists in our bodies, and it aids in the digestive process? It aids in blood clotting, and it provides us with vitamin K, B12, thiamine, and riboflavin. Digestive experts agree that the balance of gut flora should be approximately 85% of the good bacteria and 15% of the bad bacteria. So we don't want to completely eliminate all the bad guys. So really, instead of washing and scrubbing those guys away, I mean, I'm not promoting for you to go rub raw chicken all over you, but it's our advantage to develop a good relationship with them. Other negative effects on our gut can be that we come in contact with. It's stuff in the environment that unfortunately we just cannot get away with. So stress and chemicals. Some good ways to counter this, because I mean, I get stressed out too no matter what people tell you, and you cannot walk around in a bubble and not breathe in things that are just in your home and in your environment. It's really good to do some grounding. If you are unaware of what that means, take your socks and your shoes off and actually go out and walk outside in the grass. You will get the soil on you. There are bacteria that live in there that's actually good for you. So that's what grounding is called, not to mention good vitamin D. Medications are another reason for unhealthy guts these days, especially antibiotics. They can permanently alter our inner ecosystem. I am not advocating for never taking antibiotics. We are so blessed to have doctors who have been able to come up with these cures, but they're overprescribed like crazy, all right? Really, when your doctor gives one to you or says that your child needs one, do your own research and make sure that you truly need that antibiotic. They have done tests that show that even 6 months after a full round of antibiotics, your gut bacteria, some of them never get reestablished. So you want to pick and choose when you are using these antibiotics. And finally, our diet. There's so much processed food out there. They contain lower fiber, and fiber feeds this bacteria. This can result in a lower variety of bacteria in our bodies because they're going to die off. They don't have any food. And this can cause them to actually start to feed on your mucus lining, which that is usually the cause of indigestion, IBS, all those lovely digestive disorders, and we just don't want to go there. All right, so those are some different ways that we've come into this bad rut with our gut health. So let's start talking about some ways to improve that. So these bacteria form a rich ecosystem in our bodies. They help us break down food. They make vitamin B's and vitamin K from the food we eat, which I find very interesting. If any of you are avid gardeners out there, you know you don't want one thing in your soil or your raised beds. You want a variety of different things. So that's what I'm going to teach you today, how to extend your gut health far beyond probiotic pills, which really limit you to a small amount of bacteria, or think of your soil inside. All right, so what can us mamas do? One, you want to give your microbiome or your gut more food. So fiber, like we said, is the best fuel for gut bacteria. So your vegetables, your nuts, your legumes, when bacteria consume fiber, they actually produce short-chain fatty acids that nourish your gut barrier. They improve your immune function and can help prevent inflammation. So the more fiber you digest, the more fiber-consuming bacteria colonize your gut. All right, so you can give the bacteria more food. You can add more bacteria to your diet. And this is going to be done through fermented foods. And I am a big fermented food maker. You can see in the background, I have my sauerkrauts that I'm making. Also, if you are not into making that, I would be happy to share this. I have some YouTube videos showing how easy it is and cheap it is to make sauerkraut. A local company called Wild Earth Farms. You can find them in, I know, Good Foods Grocer, Elwood's. They're at all the farmers markets on Saturdays. They make some really awesome sauerkraut that's really potent. I mean, when I say eat sauerkraut, you need a spoonful a day. And that gives you so much more than a probiotic pill will give you. But these guys make some really good flavors if you're turning your nose up right now at sauerkraut. Kimchi is another one. You may see kefir. Typically that's been in the milk form. If you are buying kefir from the store, unfortunately, it's not going to have the probiotic makeup that you think you're getting, because it has to be pasteurized in order to pass all the FDA regulations. I personally make water kefir. Doesn't this look like wine right here? It kind of tastes like that too. Water kefir is just a version of milk kefir, and I started getting into this because I wanted something in my girls to give them probiotics without a pill, and milk kefir is not really something that you want to drink after, you know, a day of work or a day with the kids. Whereas this is like a light, sweet, effervescent beverage that my girls seriously cannot get enough of. I used to sell this at farmers markets, and now if you're interested in learning more, because this is a whole video itself, I sell the kefir grains that you can use to make at home, and it's super easy. But you will see kefir in the stores. I'm telling you, I had to shut down my operation because you cannot make quality kefir and have it in stores without pasteurizing it. So while things in stores are better than nothing, it's not going to be the real deal. Let's see, what else? Okay, so fermented foods, sour foods. These types of foods contain gluconic acid and acetic acid. So those are healthy acids that help you create a certain type of pH in your body that supports the growth of probiotics in your system. And we just don't really eat sour foods anymore. And finally, if you just cannot handle sour foods or any of these fermented things, probiotic pills are better than nothing. Just know that they're never going to be as rich as what God can create in this. I would look for a pill that has 2 to 3 different strands of bacteria. Usually you're going to see the lactobacillus or the bifidobacteria, and anywhere from 30 to 50 billion CFUs. That's colony-forming units for adults, and usually the kid probiotic is going to be 5 to 10 billion. All right, so what can you do for your kids? Because I have one child that absolutely adores sauerkraut. Another turns her nose up at it. Fortunately, they both love this kefir. We get about half a cup of this a day. I drink about a cup, 2 cups. That's our probiotic for the day. But what else can you do? Start them on a probiotic if they're not going to do this stuff, or if you're not going to do this stuff. You can add a powdered version or a smidge to your breast when you're nursing if you have little kids. I've even heard of breast milk yogurt where you can leave some of your expelled milk out with probiotic powder overnight. I have never tried that before, but that's worth looking into. I just want to give you some options. If they're eating, you can really add the powdered probiotic to anything, applesauce, potatoes, smoothies. If you have eaters, feed them sour foods. You have the power to develop those taste buds now, so keep exposing them to sauerkraut, to those pickles, and just some other fermented vegetables that things like Wild Earth Farms has out there for you. Again, try the water kefir, needs to be homemade. Again, hit me up if you want more information on that. So we really have the power to fire up the bacterial content in our bellies. We just have to commit to doing it. So this week, I want you to think about what fermented foods, what ways can I help improve my gut health. Whether you go to Elwood's and peruse some things, or Whole Foods, or Fall Line Farm, you can buy Wild Earth from. And just think about some different ways to get some more gut bugs into your life. So I hope y'all have a great week again with Natalie, and I will see you back next week for our last video. Y'all have a good one, guys.